In this video, we're going to learn about back button focus, what it is, why you would want to use it, and how to set it up on your Fujifilm camera. Alright, so first, what is back button focus? Back button focus is a technique used to separate your focus from your shutter button. Usually, whenever you press your shutter button, your camera will acquire focus and then take the picture. However, if we use back button focus, we will remove the focus from that shutter button and assign it to a button on the back side of our camera. That way you don't have to always acquire focus whenever you want to take a picture, and that can be pretty useful in a lot of situations. This technique allows you to recompose without changing focus. Now, depending on your camera and the lens that you're using, you might waste a lot of time every time you want to shoot something to acquire focus. Acquiring focus every single time may make you miss some shots, and you might want to use back button focus to make sure that you don't need to acquire focus every single time. It is also used in techniques like the Brenizer method, where you will basically group a certain amount of pictures together to obtain a wide angle picture with a shallow depth of field without any distortion. If you want to know more about the Brenizer method, then leave a comment below and I'll make a video about it. In some other challenging situations where there are a lot of movement in your scene, or where you have elements in the foreground that might interfere with your focus mechanism, back button focus can ensure that you will acquire focus at the right time and then just keep the focus where it is, which will basically allow you not to miss shots anymore. Alright, so now that you know what it is and why you would want to use it, let's move to how to set it up on your Fujifilm camera. So the first step is to move your autofocus from your shutter button. To do so, go to Menu, Setup, Button Dial Settings, Shutter AF, AF Single, and turn it to off. This will basically ensure that every time your camera is in single mode, whenever you press the shutter button, the camera will not acquire focus. Now, this is not true for continuous mode, and if you want to turn it off also for continuous mode, then you will have to go to the same menu, but turn the AFC off. Alright, so the next step is to assign the focus mechanism to another button. Typically, the buttons that people like using for this particular functions are either the AF on button, the press function of the back dial, or the Q button that you can see on the X-T4. Now, personally, I like using the AF on button because it goes well for my hand, but I invite you to check and try to see what button works better for you. So hold the display back button, scroll all the way down to the button that you decided to assign to the AF on function, and assign it to the AF on. And as you can see now, when you press the shutter button, your camera will not acquire focus anymore. However, whenever you press the back button that you chose, the focus will be acquired. And that's pretty much it, you're pretty much done. And don't worry, it will take time at first to get used to this method, but in a lot of situations it will be extremely useful to have those two functions decorrelated and assigned to two different buttons. So make sure that you practice this technique and let me know in the comment if you have any questions. And if you want to know about long exposure and how to shoot long exposure on your Fujifilm camera,